Ladies and gents, thanks for tuning in. This is a special episode of How Did Plum Come About? I'm Dan Lee, and this is my business partner, Dylan Simpson. We started Plum Property together back in 2016, about 8 years ago. It's 2024 now. And so we thought we'd share with you our journey, how we started the business, the creation and the growth of the business, and where we are today. There's some good moments and some good stories in there. Sure. We sort of put this together for an HR event, but we thought we may as well just share it on YouTube, and because there's probably some value that a lot of people can get out of this. So a bit of history about us. Dylan and I, we've been friends for about 25 years plus, way back in high school. And after high school, we went traveling. You sent me these photos the other day. I thought we'd share them. This is us. Right. This is us when I was 18. We were 18 overseas in Europe. Oh my God, we look pretty young. Yeah. And then this one here, this is a great one. Check out these haircuts.
And believe it or not, these were the least embarrassing of all the photos.
Man, I look 12 years old in these haircuts. Good fashion. Great fashion, the long shorts.
Yep.
So
that's coming back.
Yeah, so we were 18 then, and we ended up, after that trip, we went our separate ways. Dylan had a camera business, and you took over from your father, and I went and did uni, and I got into real estate at 22. I've actually got some good photos of that, which I thought I'd pull up. And
nice.
That's nice.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. Check out that haircut. That's my first week, December 2007. I don't know who would have listed their property with me. Well, no one actually, because I was a sales associate. So I was basically doing my traineeship for a year. But there's me a few years in now, so I would have been about 26, 27 there.
Sharp.
Yeah, good haircut. Could afford a haircut at that stage.
Still got that tie?
Yeah. It's an LJ Hooker classic tie. Yeah. Here's a good one. This is my very first car, Toyota Camry 87. Man, that was trash. Cost me $400. It actually leaked from the top passenger side. So after a heavy rain, it would be up to your shins in water on the passenger side, be scooping it out with a Tupperware container in the morning. So,
like a pirate.
Like, yeah. I remember being so embarrassed, my neighbours seeing me doing that in my suit on the way to work. But humble beginnings. I stayed in real estate for about 9-10 years, and me and Dylan ended up living together when we were 30, and I was like near the end of my tether at my real estate agency, and Dylan happened to be selling his business at the time, and I kind of just approached him and said, I want to start my own agency. And you're like, why don't you join me? And you're like, righto, got nothing else to do. So we had the decision. It just happened. Like we were living together.
I'd failed out of trying to get into something.
That's right. Yeah, you were trying to be a doctor. You failed the GAMSAT 2 times.
Yeah.
And then
so
you gave.
Like, that's it. I'm
out. So I was like, mate, you're not going to be a doctor. Yeah. They don't want you.
What's the backup?
Mate, the backup is
real estate.
Start a property management business.
Yeah.
I'll do sales. He's like, and I stitched him up and said it wouldn't be hard. Yeah. First thing we needed to do was, decide whether or not we were going to be independent or franchise. So we went around and looked at some franchise options. We decided it wasn't for us.
Yeah.
We wanted to go independent, do our own type of marketing, our own brand. And so, we needed to think of a name first.
That's something that whenever we sat down with people and we're having a chat, they're, how'd you come up with a name? And it's always, to us, it's not an amazing story, but I guess it's interesting.
Yeah.
Because that's the thing when you're starting a business is, I guess the name is, or I think you can overemphasize how important that is because you can overthink it.
Yeah,
but
for sure.
We went through you started the process and you were sort of tasked with coming up with a name.
That's right. Yeah, I went out and I was thinking like, okay, what are we going to call this agency? And we both decided we didn't want to have our names in it because we just didn't want that. Mainly because we wanted the business to be more than us.
Yeah.
And we were like, let's not put our names in it and make it be about us. And so I started thinking about all these names that had something to do with real estate. So I was like writing them all down and like place and space and open house realty, like things that have some sort of like, connection to real estate. And I thought of everything under the sun, but everything was taken. It was so hard to choose a name like that. Either the domain or the business name was taken, and I showed you this list, I remember, and there were only the dregs, the ones that we didn't want that were...
And then also any names that were like Pinnacle or
Yeah.
Platinum, like these ones that were like, oh, we're the best.
Yeah,
You know?
but we didn't want those ones either. But yeah, so many real estate agencies in Australia you wouldn't believe, or at least names taken. And I showed you this list, I was like, man, I can't find anything good that relates to real estate. And you said to me, you looked at all these names and you said, why are they what to do with real estate? And I was like, gotta have something. And you're like, nah. You're like, nah, that's done. Let's look to the future. Let's look to the future.
I don't think I said that exactly, but...
I think you did. All right, you said, let's look to the future. That's been done. Let's call it something completely nothing to do with real estate. I don't care what it's called. And he goes, no word of a lie. First name he said, you can call it anything you like. You can call it Plum Property for all I care. And I was like, And I wrote that down. And then I was like, all right. So I went away and thought of about 50 other names and came back to him with them. And we were both like, Plum Property sounds pretty good. And we were like, no, let's look at the other names. But we kept going back to that, hey.
Well, we had the perp, because we were like, also the colours are all spoken for, big brands have their colour, and trying to sort of have that, we didn't want any confusion. So, and purple was a colour that we identified in our area that wasn't really utilised.
Yeah, and we just loved it. We wanted dark purple, so we were like, and the alliteration, the PP, Plum Property, it was catchy, it was easy to remember, and it just sounded good. And we put it to a vote with friends and family. We picked our favourite three, and everyone said Plum. And so we just said, righto, we're going with Plum Property. And so then it was logo time. And we decided, how do we, we had a graphic designer, but first of all, the first thing we did was we jumped online to one of those, Fiverr, and we got, some people in India to make us a whole bunch of logos. We said, can you make us Plum Property logos? Check out some of these that came through. Oh God, the dome. The fruit. We said, it's not the fruit.
It's not the
Don't relate it to the fruit. Look at these. There's a plum house there. Oh God, they're not good. That's when you know it's done overseas, when there's a little house on the first letter. Oh God, look at that one, the red one. Anyway, this was an actual one.
This is the start of it.
This is the start of our real logo that started to come into play. Our mate Simon Bird did our logo, and this was sort of a squarish version of what we ended up going with. And then this is it sort of coming together in the end. The font, the color, the top left logo there is what it ended up being. There's a few on there that are not it, but that's it sort of coming together. So yeah, the birth of the Plum Property brand came about.
Yep.
And then we needed to get a premises to start our business. So where we started was Plum Property, the unit, which was my investment unit. So we cleared the tenants out, we went and bought some desks, we set it up. We didn't have a commercial premises, we were just away. We had an internet connection, some laptops and a printer, and off we went. And here's our our first photo shoot with your famous photo.
Yeah, that's still making the rounds.
Yeah,
this one.
still haunts him today. I stitched him up. So this was our first professional photo shoot, and the photographer, this lady, she said, "Oh, Dill, your hair was sticking up." She said, "Oh, go put some water in your hair." And you came back like
I
this.
overdid it. I really overdid it.
Can we just zoom in on that?
Let's move on.
Let me zoom in on that. How do I? Oh yeah, that is good. That is a great haircut.
Haircut's coming back.
Save that. That's good. So anyway, we'll move past that. We'll share that around with everyone again. This is our first opening night. So we'd set up the apartment. Here's a couple of our mates, Birdie on the left there, our graphic designer, and we opened the business the next day on April 11th, 2016. That was our first listing online there.
Yeah.
Remember that?
I do.
Look at our sign up there on the wall on that photo.
professional.
Very professional. We made it real. We made it our home, our business. Here's some good old photos of us in there having a fun time on the phones there doing
First
business.
cost account audit that was.
That guy.
Yep.
Oh yeah, that dude. Yeah, he came in and gave us a hard time, didn't he?
He did give us.
Then there's a sign being made. That's the sign that we had for the first house that we then moved into after that.
Yep.
There's you chilling after a big day. On the phone, classic on the phone real estate agent. What else we got? Here's us making signs.
Making signboards.
Yeah, when we had a few rentals to go and we were knocking our own signs. That's our very first signboard on the right there. So our first property listed. Awesome. Some more good shots. That bloody folding machine.
Yeah.
Giving us hell. There's me on the phones there, smashing away. 2 o'clock till 6 o'clock every day with the
V's.
With the V's, the Red Bulls. More good photos. Our first conversions on the rental department. There's you cleaning some houses.
Yep. Getting them ready for
some of the good jobs.
Yep.
Yep. Being the property manager, the BDM, getting it rolling.
Yep.
Some good advertising here. We got our trailer. We got, there's me in the bin. Here's our first Christmas party, 2016. So we were 4 people by the end of that year. I think we had 30 rentals. And then we moved into this house, which was fantastic. A few other big agents joined us then. We started to, make some waves in the local area. And yeah, this is sort of setting it up what it looked like. It was awesome. We had a team of 7 there now. This is after about 2 years. Probably had 100 rentals and the team started to grow. Vernie and his poodles, getting some professional photos. Tyler joined the team, the great Tyler Bean, our auctioneer and great agent. That was a photo of me on a cruise with him, with his wife Ellen, which he met on that cruise. I set them up. He owes me for that, for life. Here we go, more good photos in that house. The Fate up the top there. Vernie and Arden. Here's Melbourne Cup Day on Pride Day 2017. That was the day that gay marriage got approved in Australia. So we were dressed up with our rainbow hats and at the Melbourne Cup. Some professional photos. Team grew a bit, 9 now, unreal. And then we had to move.
Time to move, yep.
Yeah, we had to move from the house. We actually, the council knocked on our door one day. Knock, knock. Mr. Councilman outside. Yes, sir. What you got going on here, boys? We didn't know we weren't really allowed to have 12 people in the house running a business. So he gave us this notice, you got to get out of here in 90 days. Uh-oh. Which was a blessing in disguise because then we ended up getting this commercial space, which was way too big for us. It was 400 square meters and we were like, what are we going to do with this? It's too expensive. Here it is, Old Sylvan Road. It ended up being a blessing getting kicked out of that house because we had all of a sudden had all this space. And then so we were like, well, we better get some agents on. And then so we went on a recruitment hunt and then we were very lucky to have some fantastic agents join us over the next couple of years and our property management grew probably up to about 500. Here's us sort of, doing some stuff in there. Some of our staff growing, PM team growing. Yep. There's us in probably 2019. Probably had about 20 people at that stage. Some great agents winning some great awards there. Here's some events that we did. Our trivia night, dress up trivia night. Christmas party 2018, we're probably 25 people at that stage.
So that's 3 years. That's 3 years in, pretty much.
3 years in, yeah 25 people probably. Here's some of our staff at that time. This looks like we were putting together a billboard of some sort, I think.
Yep.
REIQ Awards 2019. So we're really growing now and seeing the momentum, agents, and becoming like one of the larger agencies in the area. So it was really good to see. Oh, there's little Peaches, our mascot, our doggy. She's gorgeous. Here's another picture of our team. That must have been 2020. We won some good awards then. I think Brett got his, Brett Andreasen, REIQ Salesperson of the Year for Plum Property, making us proud. And then we moved into the new premises.
Yeah, we outgrew that one in 3 years or so.
So this was a big move. So 2021, we in our premises where we are now, which is 800 square meters, so double the size of that one, and the team probably grew to about 40. Put that together, putting those, remember the big signs going up?
Yeah, that was a big moment.
Big moment.
Lifting that up on the
and our nice reception, beautiful reception that we built there. Our Plum Property management team growing, buying those cars. And there was our beautiful reception, which is still amazing today. And here's us in 2021. Our team was about 50 at that point.
Yep.
And and it's been so good to see how, the journey that it's gone, all the ups and downs, the trials, the tribulations. Is that what you say? Trials and tribulations?
I guess so, yeah.
Some other great events with other staff there.
Yeah.
We got to the point in 2022 where we eventually wanted to take the business in another direction. We built a fantastic agency with amazing people, and we ventured into a business called Plum Partners together.
Yep.
So what we do now is using the experience that we gained from, that whole journey of starting from nothing to a great agency that's profitable and still a very great business today. We now help agents to go out and start, run and grow their own real estate business and brand in their area. It's a privilege to be working with great agents and great people who aspire to be amazing business owners and want to grow past being just an agent.
And I think if we had have had access to something like that when we started, it would have been a great option for us. The franchise model wasn't for us and we just went it ourselves, but all the mistakes we made along the way, I think we could have really benefited from something like what we're trying
Absolutely. And we're really helping to fast track these businesses to be years ahead of what we would have been, because they can run off our experience, their hard work, and avoid the mistakes that we made along the way. Yeah.
Yeah, don't wet your hair before the photo shoot.
Yeah. Some of the great advice we'll give you. So guys, if that's something that you might be interested in, starting a business, whether it's in real estate or something else, and you just want to have a chat with us about what it's like, what's the good, the bad, the ugly, we're more than happy to share our experience and give you any advice. Our details are below in the description. We hope you got massive value out of this. If you like this content and you want to see more of it, or give us an idea, chuck a comment, give us a like, give us a subscribe. It really does help, guys, and encourages us to do more valuable content for anyone that's watching. Thanks so much for tuning in, and we'll see you on the next video.